Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's 4 p.m. I'm going to call this meeting to order. And we also want to inform the public about the location of the Open Meetings Act posted in the Administration Building council chambers and accessible to members of the public. Can we have a roll call, please?
Arns. Here. Clausen.
Here.
Granquist.
Here.
Hildebrand. Here. Jackson.
Here.
McCarthy.
Here.
Merrill.
Here.
Murin.
Here.
Mayor. Okay.
Prior to the start of our meeting, we have a guest in the crowd that would like to make a short statement. If you'd come in and sign your name, please. And we will limit that, Jim, to 5 minutes.
Thank you for giving me that opportunity. I'd like to explain why I believe continuing this meeting would be in violation of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act. There are several reasons. Number one, there are no minutes of the 8/1/22 work session available for inspection on the city website. Nebraska Statute 84-1413 subsection 5 states minutes shall be written or kept in an electronic record and shall be available for inspection within 10 working days or prior to the next convened meeting, whichever occurs earlier. Nebraska 84-1413 subsection 6 states, beginning July 31, 2022, the governing body of a natural resources district, city council of the city of the metropolitan class, city council of the city of the primary class, city council of the city of the first class, the county board of a county with a population greater than 25,000 inhabitants, and the school board of a school district shall make available on such entity's public website and agenda the minutes of any meeting of the governing body. The agenda shall be placed on the website at least 24 hours before the meeting of the governing body. Minutes shall be placed on the website at such time as the minutes are available for inspection as provided in subsection 5 of this section. This information shall be available to the public, available on the public website for at least 6 months. There was a great deal of discussion at the last meeting regarding cost estimates, new taxes, duration of those taxes, etc. None of that information, of that discussion is available for inspection according to the requirements by the Open Meetings Act. Number two, the agenda item is titled Budget Discussion for November Ballot Initiative. That is invalid. Nebraska Constitution, Article 3, Section 1 states, the legislative authority of the state shall be vested in a legislature to one chamber. The people reserve for themselves the power to propose laws and amendments to the Constitution and to enact or reject the same at the polls, independent of the legislature, which power shall be called the power of initiative. A ballot initiative is by petition. This agenda is not regarding a ballot initiative and is incorrectly stated. Number three, not only is the agenda item incorrectly stated, it does not contain sufficient detail so that the public fully understands what is being considered. Nebraska Statute 84-1411 subsection 1E states, agenda items shall be sufficiently descriptive to give the public reasonable notice of the matters to be considered at the meeting. This agenda item concerns a possible $70 million worth of mostly recreational projects to be paid for with a 0.5% sales tax over 20 years. This could be the largest bonded tax increase in the history of Norfolk. Nothing in the agenda would give the public any idea as to the enormity of what is being considered and discussed, and any of the proposed projects to be included or the potential task asking that may be brought forth. Stating that no action will be taken on items discussed is not an allowable reason for violation of this provision of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act. Lastly, Nebraska Statute 84-1414 subsection 4 states, any member of a public body who knowingly violates or conspires to violate or who attends or remains at a meeting knowing that the public body is in violation of any provision of the Open Meetings Act shall be guilty of a Class 4 misdemeanor for the first offense and a Class 3 misdemeanor for the second or subsequent offense. You guys are all honorable people. I don't think you really understood what's been transpiring with this project, and I think that you need to be aware of these violations, so. Any questions?
Nope. Danny Noli, our city attorney, do you have any comments?
Sure. I guess this is a little bit awkward. I had no idea that I was going to be expected to speak to these 4 items. He is correct that we are required to follow the Open Meetings Act, and we, as you all know, I am constantly talking with all of you about the importance of us following that. I don't remember exactly everything that he said. I'm going to do my best to speak to it. I guess it is my opinion that there is nothing rising to the level of necessitating, thank you, Jim, necessitating us to do a motion to adjourn this meeting. Let me start with number 1. There are no minutes of the 8-1 work session, which was 1 week ago. Question here, if I would have known before this, I think staff could have had a better chance to wrap our arms around it. So I'm going to be leaning on some of the other people on my staff so that we can address these fully and openly. We have talked about this, correct? Adding minutes and adding the recordings to our website for these work sessions. That came up last week. The last that I knew, someone can maybe bail me out here, we were in the process of adding that to our website. Is that correct? Staff? Yes. That is in progress. So that will be forthcoming. We're making all reasonable efforts. It's my understanding that that will be done this week. My next question would be whether Mr. McKenzie came and has he asked for those since that last meeting?
I looked on the website, according to the Nebraska statutes, you have to put them on the website in accordance with the statute as of July 31, 2022.
Gotcha. So we're working on that. I think we're going to do a better job moving forward in the future. These meetings just kind of started regularly on a regular basis. This is a kind of a hot topic. This work session was born out of an honest and, in my understanding, a goodwill intention to have an open conversation about what's all going into the project for November and further educate ourselves and thus the public on this, which is why we did set this. I think that there is a good faith effort here to comply with the Open Meetings Act. I am not concerned with the fact that those minutes are not on the website right now. So that would be my thoughts on number 1. Number 2, I guess I'm not exactly sure where we're going with the concern about budget discussion for November ballot initiative. What we're talking about here, the goal of the Open Meetings Act and when you're putting things on an agenda is so that a reasonable person can understand what we were talking about. And I think a reasonable person, the public, especially here, would understand that we are talking about the projects that the council may or may not put on the November ballot. Could the language be better? Yes. Could it be more full? Yes. But it is I guess if the council agrees with me, that's fine. If the council doesn't agree, and we can do a motion to adjourn here. Again, I'm sorry. I'm kind of stumbling all over myself because I had no idea that I was going to be expected to stand up and address this. But the question with the Open Meetings Act is whether a reasonable person would understand the agenda, which is labeled budget discussion for November ballot initiative. Would a reasonable person understand that to be about what we know, what we're going to talk about tonight, which is those items that are going into, that could be going into potentially based on the desire of the council to go on the November ballot. And that also addresses number 3. I think that here, again, the standard is, does a reasonable person understand this to mean that we're talking about those projects that are going to go on the ballot potentially? Taha, the Aquatic Center, streets, and the police department. Yes, sir.
If I may make a point, these are all from a survey done in 2017, the projects are. We're not putting the projects out there from the council's perspective. What we're presenting is projects that the public wanted to put on the ballot to show a way of funding And if the public doesn't want it, they can vote against it. So we're just putting it out there to vote on it. We're not
Yes,
saying
sir.
this is what it's gonna be.
No, sir, and I'm sorry if that was unclear. Like I said, I'm doing a terrible job of articulating myself right now.
You presented it the same way.
Right, and no, but in order for, and I can't speak to that survey or the results of that survey. It's just that under state statute, in order for that to even go before the public to vote on the sales tax and to vote on the bond issue related thereto, the first step is the city council. And so that's why I'm phrasing it that way. But by no means am I saying that this is something that is being done by the council. I'm just saying that it is up to the council to move that forward or to not move that forward. So I'm sorry if I'm doing a bad job of
I just wanted
articulating that.
clarify so that they understood that all we're doing is bringing that to the ballot for the people to vote on. We're not saying this is what we're doing.
Correct.
at all.
Yes, sir.
This is what they wanted, so.
Yes, sir. And as far as the last one, any member of a public body who knowingly violates or conspires to violate shall be guilty of a class 4 misdemeanor for, okay. I guess I can't speak. I can't speak to the, necessarily to this other than to say that the reason that we are here is pretty similar to why we've been holding these regularly and why we have continued to do these. I think this is, as Mr. McKenzie aptly points out, this is a really hot topic. And this is something that the council has made very clear that you want to make sure that you have all the knowledge and that the public has all the knowledge to move forward with this. So with that said, I think that our goals in that regard have been good faith. It is my understanding that we did all the proper advertising. We are making this available. We're streaming this. We are going to be making this available, the recording. We're working on the minutes. It is my opinion that as it pertains to the Open Meetings Act and city staff, our compliance with that body of law, it is my belief that we have complied in a good faith effort. And can we do better in the future? Always. There's always something that we can do better. I think that a reasonable person looking at this would understand what this meeting was about and what the topics to be discussed by the council were. So if the council is comfortable moving forward, then I would recommend as your council that we are okay to move forward. If it makes the council uncomfortable, if it gives the council pause to move forward based on the information that Mr. McKenzie has just provided us, then you would be looking at a motion to adjourn. At this time, there would be no discussion. It would just be a motion and a majority vote. But it's my opinion that I could have worded this better had I had a little more time to prepare a thorough bullet point list addressing all of these. But I think that staff has made a good faith effort to comply, and there is nothing here that's aiming to subvert the will of the Open Meetings Act. There are no decisions being made here tonight. We are just, as I understand it, the goal of this is to advise and to learn more and to give the public a chance to learn more as the council learns more, since the council will be asked yet this month to vote to move forward the bond issue and the sales tax increase.
Thank you, Dan.
Randy, can I ask about topic number 1 that Jim brought up that said, I believe this had to be posted on the website before the next meeting? So obviously I'm ad-libbing, but can you read that portion out and
Yes.
what your thoughts are on that? Because I think that's concerning if we had to have something on the website stating what the meeting minutes were from the last meeting before the next meeting.
Yes.
This is all new to me, but.
And this just became, so this, it sounds like, I'm going to pull up the actual statute right here. It sounds like this became effective a week ago. Yes.
Well, I'm looking at this thing, and right now, it was supposed to be presented, we were supposed to get information about what this whole project was gonna entail, and then money that was gonna be involved in it, so that could be presented to us tonight, and then with the media here tonight, then it would generally go out to the public, so the public would have more information on the project. If we're gonna sit here and just talk about if this is legal to be here or not, we're just wasting our time.
Well, I don't,
I mean, we've already 16 minutes.
yeah,
of
I don't think
time.
we're going to spend much more time talking about whether this is legal or not, from my perspective.
Right.
What I would say is I think that Danny is correct in that a reasonable person would be able to ascertain with what we're doing is for the public good or not.
Right.
I think it's also important to point out that at the work sessions that are in question, there has been no taxpayer money expended. There's been no votes up or down on anything that may happen. And the media was present at all of the work sessions that we've had, and the news that was contained within those work sessions was properly reported by the news media. Can we do better? Sure, we could probably do better, and I'm sure that we will. Are we making steps to have those things put on the city website? Yes, we are. So,
The minutes from the work sessions always are published on the agenda. We always just make sure we have them on the website prior to the next regular meeting where they're approved.
once again, I think that a reasonable person wanting a copy of those minutes would be able to get a hold of somebody at the city and have those minutes presented to them.
Are they available today, currently, on the website?
Well, we have, I do not know that answer, Jim.
I look at the
And,
website, they're not.
well, we're not here for more debate on this. I'm just making a statement. So it would be council's prerogative to cancel this work session if a motion were to be made, a vote were to be taken, and that would be the will of the council. And
We don't have to make a motion to continue though.
Or,
we do not have to make a motion to continue. We would have to make a motion to call the meeting.
or do we want to make a motion for a closed session because of allegations of criminal misconduct? And do we want to discuss this further in closed session?
It would be my opinion that we would not want to do that, Councilman.
Okay, it was just a question.
Yeah, it's no charges have been brought against us. It's just right now, it's just
No, allegations.
allegations, yes. We get allegations on
I'm just looking at the
social
open
media
meeting
every
law.
day that we don't run the city correctly.
Okay.
So I don't believe that would be a proper course of action.
Okay.
Councilman Greenquist, as far as your question regarding number one, we could, we are probably not perfectly in compliance with this portion of the Open Meetings Act. Now, are we making good faith efforts to comply? Yes. Are we is this a reasonable, the question is, are we making reasonable efforts to inform the public of what's going on and reasonable efforts to comply? I would say that we are. Are we perfectly in compliance? Probably not. Had I had knowledge of this, maybe in advance we would have rescheduled, or it's just, I apologize. This is the first, I asked for a heads up before this and I was not given a heads up. I found out about this just right now. And there's a number of things at play here. So I do apologize for my inability to perfectly address this, but I found out about this the same time that all of you did.
I just have one more comment. I think in this case, if there is a violation, I don't see where we move forward. I just don't. If there's a violation of the Open Meetings Act, then we can discuss our goodwill all we want, but I believe that should probably not continue.
Frank, with what you said, in what, 40 minutes, there's gonna be an open house here anyway to discuss the project, and that's all that we're gonna do tonight anyway. So I'm with you. There's no reason to be sitting here.
No.
There's a
I
problem
agree.
going on.
I agree as well.
I'm gonna make a motion, we adjourn this meeting.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting. Any further discussion? If not, please vote.
I will go ahead and do a roll call vote. I don't have the.
All right. Roll call vote, please.
Grandquist?
Yes.
Arns?
Yes.
McCarthy?
Yes.
Merrill?
No.
Murin?
Yes.
Jackson?
No.
Clausen?
Yes.
Hildebrand?
Yes.
Voting in favor, Grandquist, Arns, McCarthy, Murin, Jackson, Hildebrand. Voting in opposition, Merrill and Jackson. Motion carries.
We are adjourned.